I could easily see this movie being the blueprint of someone who's trying to create the perfect sex robot. So anyway, tonight's movie is called Ex Machina, and this film follows a guy named Caleb who finds out that he's won the grand prize in a competition to meet the CEO of the company he works for named Nathan. But soon after he gets to Nathan's house, he discovers that the real reason for him being there is so that he can test out this AI that Nathan has built named Ava and essentially determine whether she could be considered a conscious being. And during one of his tests with Ava, he does find out that she has a mind of her own. Whether or not this is a good thing for him remains to be seen, but she tells him that Nathan is not who he seems to be and cannot be trusted. And from there on, things just sort of steadily escalate. Now, this movie could easily be considered just as much of a thriller as it is a tale of science fiction. Even before, that moment where Ava gives away this information about Nathan, which of course may or may not be true, it is just very intriguing to watch, and it's kind of a slow-burning film. It's very dialogue-driven. There aren't really a whole lot of big things that happen in it, so if you're expecting to, if you're wanting to see a more action-packed science fiction adventure, you're not exactly going to get that from Ex Machina. It might not really be up your alley, but for me, I was absorbed in what was happening all the way through. It never got boring for me, and the characters are very interestingly written. When you meet Nathan in the film, he's not the type of person you would expect him to be. Like, he doesn't come off as very professional, but at the same time, he's not like a stereotypical mad scientist or even like a quirky, neurotic, geeky character. If anything, he comes off as more of someone from a college fraternity who just so happens to have this vast intellect. And, he never even comes off as just some sort of idiot where you're wondering how the hell could he have made this incredible technology. Like, you do buy that he is that intelligent. And, Caleb at first comes off as very straight-laced, and he is sort of the hero of the film, but at the same time, as the film progresses, he does start to show a few cracks. And, meanwhile, there's this AI caught in the middle named Ava, who, again, does have a mind of her own, and has her own desires at heart. And of course I have to bring up the special effects in this movie. This movie has some of the most seamless blending between CGI and live action that I've ever seen. Like, there's never any point where I saw any part of Ava and thought that I was looking at computer animation. I was completely able to buy her as something that could exist in this world. And, it could be fairly easy for some CGI artists to create a still image of something and make it look real, but at the same time, they were able to make her move realistically as well. And again, I was able to buy her the whole time. Like, an example of something which, looks real when it's standing still is a couple of years ago I tried watching this really horrible movie called Robotopia, and the robots in that movie looked real when they were just standing still and not doing anything, but the minute they moved, the illusion was shattered and they just looked like cartoons. So I really do applaud the people who were behind the visual effects in this movie, as well as the screenwriters, the actors, everyone. And in the end, if Ex Machina sounds like something you're interested in, then it does come highly recommended. And with that, I hope you all have a good one.